Good afternoon, Pokemon community. You can call me Trainer Zed, and today we are here with a little bit different of an intro because this is a bit of a special video, so I wanted to start it off in a bit of a special way. Today we have a package here. Okay, well, today we have a package here from my good friends over at Pinswag. You can already see some of the packaging here. And I wanted to start it off with these pins because you'll see here in a second. This is a Scyther pin. Wow, I am super impressed already. First pin that comes out of the package, and it looks extremely nice. It's got a custom package to go with it. Quite a step above for an independent pin producer. Let's see if I can get him out of here. Come here, friend. I just absolutely love some of these designs that they make into pins over there. Scyther is one of my favorite Pokemon, so of course I had to grab the Scyther one. And if you are interested in any of the pins that you see today, I'll link their website in the description. Maybe I'll put their Instagram there as well. And I was not sponsored or anything by Pinswag. I've actually gotten to know the guy that's in charge of Pinswag, and I added him on Pokemon Go, and we were actually doing a lot of raids together. We actually managed to get him one of his favorite shiny legendary Pokemon. We got him shiny Rayquaza. We remote invited him in, and the Rayquaza that he happened to get was shiny. So that was a really cool thing. And ever since then, I've just been raiding with the guy, getting to know him, and he's a really great guy. Here is the second pin that I've pulled out of the box, Shiny Shadow Metagross. This, just from first appearance, I feel like it's going to be one of my favorite pins that I've gotten because you guys know how much I like Shiny Shadow Beldum and his evolution line. So of course I had to grab one of these. And in fact, it was one of the last two that he had available, so I'm just extremely grateful that I was able to pick this one up because this just may be my favorite one. All of the designs look relatively similar, so if you end up buying multiple pins, you know, they look all nice on display together on your jacket or your cork board or however you decide to display your pins. And the backing to that just went clear across the room. But as you can see, this is the second shiny pin. So that is why I decided to open these before this video started. Before I actually got into the shiny collection, I did order a pretty decent handful of shiny Pokemon pins from him, and I really, really like the ones I've seen so far. There's still a handful more in the package, and here we have shiny Cubone. I really, really like shiny Cubone. He's a nice army green color, and this pin, of course, mirrors that perfectly. The design is just absolutely beautiful, looks just like Cubone, and it's actually pretty rare to find much of anything shiny Pokemon related. There's not too many shiny Pokemon plushies or anything like that. There's of course some very rare shiny Pokemon cards. The entire Hidden Fates series has shiny Pokemon, you know, standard cards and GXs, full art GXs, and that is why that is one of my favorite sets to open. And here soon I'm going to have to open up some of those because I have just an incredible amount on hand. Ooh, and look, speak of the devil, there he is, shiny Rayquaza. This was actually another one of my favorite designs from Pinswag. Ow! It just perfectly captures the look of Rayquaza, however, it is in that chibi style, so it looks just great as a pin. I think it looks great with the other ones like the Cubone, Scyther, and of course he had more than just the shiny form. He had standard, his own version of a shadow Pokemon, and a couple other just neat color variants that Rayquaza looked good in, you know, color swap, things like that. So as we continue, I feel, yep, just one more in here. Let's pull it out upside down. I can't remember all of the ones that I ordered, but let's get this guy out of the package here. This is the last pin. And then we'll get started taking a look at my actual shiny collection. See, so this is exactly what I was talking about. This is his own color variant of Shadow Pokemon. It's a pretty similar color scheme to, I want to say, the Shadow Lugia that was in one of the Pokemon games. Pokemon XD, I think. And the main reason I got this guy is because I really do like that color scheme. And I wanted to get not only just, shiny Pokemon, standard Pokemon, but I wanted to get one of the ones that looked really unique. And that was, of course, this Shadow Gyarados. And Gyarados looks really nice with this dark blue and white color scheme. So that's the pin that I decided to snag. I ended up getting just a really mixed bag of Pokemon pins, but I wanted to get some different kinds of Pokemon, shinies that I actually have, shinies that I just really, really like, and just some Pokemon that I really, really like as well. Now that show and tell is over, let's go ahead and actually get into taking a look at my shiny collection. Of course, right as I was setting up to record this video, I got on my phone to check the couple of Pokemon that were around, and I click a shiny Roselia. This is not my first shiny Roselia. I think it's the first one that I've gotten on camera, but of course we'll go over that in a minute, how many Roselia I have, and this one will of course add to that total. The main reason I wanted to make this video now is because I am almost level 40. I am so close. I am only 316 XP away from hitting level 40, which is a monumental milestone in Pokemon Go at the moment, because that is the highest level that you can reach. And there are some rumors going around that maybe they're going to be adding some more levels, which could be really exciting. It could give people just another thing to strive for, because once you hit level 40, that's the top. You can't go any higher. So, to go with the theme of this video, I have a very special way that I'm going to hit level 40. I have a shiny Pokemon that I want to evolve and add the evolution to the Pokedex. I did a little bit of research into it, and I just wanted to make sure that doing this evolution and adding the Pokemon to the Pokedex would be enough to get me to level 40, and you actually get 500 XP from adding a Pokemon to the Pokedex, so doing this single evolution will put me above what I need, and it'll get me to level 40. This Pokemon shiny is very special to me because when his shiny was added, he was only available in eggs, and during the span of time that his hatch rate was boosted in eggs, I did over 500 eggs in, I believe it was just a week's time to get a shiny of this Pokemon, and I actually ended up with 2, and that is Shiny Riolu. So, surprisingly enough, I actually don't have Lucario added to my Pokédex at all. When you evolve any kind of Pokemon, be it a shiny, a shadow, a shiny shadow, it takes a snapshot of whatever Pokemon you're evolving, and that's what shows up in your Pokédex when it does its animation. So, it's going to be really special to add Shiny Lucario to my Pokedex, because Lucario is one of my favorite Pokemon, and Shiny Lucario is one of my favorite Shinies. I worked so hard to get at least one Shiny Riolu, and I actually ended up getting 2. So, let's go ahead and do it. We have more than enough candy. We have an absurd amount of candy for Riolu for whatever reason. Lucario candy, I guess. Let's go ahead and do it. Am I sure I want to evolve Riolu? I am sure. Look at that adorable little yellow lab. Here he goes. Gonna evolve him to just this amazing... Oh, he looks so cool. He looks amazing. Shiny Riolu. And we're adding him to the Pokédex. As you can see, it's registering to the Pokédex, and it actually has the Shiny Lucario. And here he is, Shiny Lucario. Oh my gosh, he looks just... fantastic. I just absolutely love the yellow with the grays and his red eyes. It just looks fantastic. This is seriously by far one of my favorite shinies. Alright, and again, that Pokedex entry should have given me 500. Here it is, level 40. It gave me 500 XP. It put me over the line. We hit level 40. We finally did it. I've been playing since 2016, off and on, very off and on. I stopped for a good while after that first wave of super popularity with Pokemon Go, and I started back up again, and then I stopped, and I started back up again, and I've been playing solidly for about a year, and I think when I started again, I was around level 25. So in the last year, I finally made it to level 40. So again, that was just one of the major reasons that I wanted to make this video. So now that I'm level 40, let's go ahead and take a look at my shiny collection. So, getting into my shiny Pokemon, we're going to just go ahead and search the word shiny, and we're going to start from the least recent and work up to the most recent. And the first one that we have here is Graveler. And I don't know if I've spoken about it before, but Geodude is actually one of my favorite Pokemon ever, So when I started playing again, I was obsessed with catching high IV Pokemon, so I caught every single Geodude that I could get my hands on, and I will be honest, I had no idea what shinies were at the time. I was just catching those Geodudes trying to get 100% IV, and I clicked one, and of course he was gold. Geodude shiny is gold, and I thought it was a glitch. I honestly thought that the texture for the Pokemon, the color for him wasn't loading correctly. I was like, look at this Geodude, he's gold, that's so awesome. And she looks at me and she goes, that's a shiny. I was like, what the heck is that? And she explained that it's just a super rare version of a Pokemon. And at the time, I was actually out of Pokeballs. I didn't have any Pokeballs. I didn't have any Great Balls. I didn't have any Ultra Balls. I only had a couple of Raspberries. I was just clicking on Geodudes trying to catch them, and as I clicked this one, of course it was shiny, and of course I was out of Pokeballs. So I got in my car, I drove to the corner at the stoplight, there's a Pokestop right there, so I spun it, flipped around, went back to the apartment, luckily it was still there, and that was my first shiny. It's one of my favorite Pokemon, it's one of my favorite shinies, and he is currently a Graveler because he was my second best shiny Geodude. So he actually completed my family. The next one here is Shiny Alolan Executor, and I remember this one specifically because that was after Shiny Geodude, of course, and after I figured out what a shiny was, I did some research into it, and I was just going non-stop trying to get shiny Pokemon, and there was actually an Alolan event going on, and Alolan Executors, Alolan Geodudes, Alolan Diglets were all spawning in the wild, and I actually caught this guy at a mini golf course. And that just kind of sticks out in my head because it was one of my first shinies, and is another gold shiny, of course. The next one that I have here is my shiny Jolteon. That was just my shiny Eevee from the quest line. Nothing too special there. We have shiny Kanto Rattata. That one I was just trying to get great throws for a task. I clicked a random Rattata and it was shiny. Shiny Dugtrio. That was originally a Diglett, of course. And then here you can see some shiny Mudkips, Marshomps, and Swamperts. And this was obviously during the Mudkip Community Day. That was my first Community Day that I participated in. That's the first time that I'd ever heard of a Community Day. And honestly, I'm kind of sad that that was my first one because there are some that I missed out on that I absolutely would have loved to take part in. Like the Squirtle Community Day with those amazing shiny Squirtles with the sunglasses. That is just one of my god tier shinies to try and get. And if they don't add him back in some kind of event, I'm going to have to do a trade for him eventually. And before I go any further, I should mention that I have 768 shinies total, and of course a fair amount of those come from the community days. Up next here we have shiny Scizor. This is another amazing shiny. I love how he takes on the color scheme of Scyther, because Scyther is one of my favorite Pokemon, and Scizor looks amazing as well. So you take the Scyther color scheme, give it to Scizor, and you just end up with this beautiful amalgamation of the two. And I actually did evolve this before I got another Scyther, because at the time I figured I would only get one shiny Scyther, and I really liked shiny Scizor, so I didn't even think that it would be possible for me to get another one and complete the shiny family. Next we have shiny Ekans. That was actually caught during his initial shiny release. A shiny Mudkip here, I'm kind of assuming, yep, that was traded. That's why it comes after the Mudkip Community Day catch box there. And then here we have shiny Altaria. This is another really neat one. The shiny Swablu I just caught on a random day. However, I decided to evolve it to a shiny Altaria when I was at the top of a Ferris wheel at an amusement park. And I just thought that was a really neat place to evolve him. And here we are getting into Ralt's Community Day. I actually didn't get away with too many Ralts on his Community Day. However, I think there are some more further down the line that I swap traded with one of my friends. And up next, this is something that I'm very proud of. I actually got 3 shiny Rayquazas when he was initially released. For whatever reason, this is about when my shiny luck just started to go ludicrous, because I was doing all these same Rayquaza raids with my friends, and I don't think anyone else got 3. I think the most that anyone else got was 2, and then of course some people got 0, because that's just how shinies are. Up next we have Shelder here, and Shiny Shelder and I have kind of an interesting relationship because he is extremely common for me for whatever reason. I know some people have a really tough time finding him, but I have far too many of these, and you'll see that as time goes on. And this shiny here is actually a special little shiny. It is a best buddy Pokemon, and as you can see, it is named after Andy. And at the time, we both took a shiny Pokemon that the other really liked, and we named it after each other, and we made it best buddies. And I actually really like where the best buddy ribbon is on Shiny Drifblim, because it's just right above her eye, and for whatever reason, that's just a really interesting placement for the ribbon to go. It kind of looks like just a bow in her hair, and I think that's super adorable. Here we have Shiny Pidgeys, Shiny Wingull. Nothing too special about those, just some interesting shinies that I happened to catch. Shiny Poliwag. This was also caught upon his initial shiny release. I believe this was one of the shiny Pokemon released during a Pokemon Go Fest or Safari Zone, and I just caught him when he was released to the general public. Shiny Badoo. This is an interesting Pokemon because it's actually my first hatched shiny Pokemon, and it's a baby Pokemon nonetheless, and the baby Pokemon nowadays are really hard to come across. They were just in the eggs during Go Fest. However, now they're nearly impossible to come across. Here is another Swablu. This one is not an Altaria, it's just a normal little Swablu. And Grimer here. I really, really like Grimer as a Pokemon, and I'm so surprised that his shiny just made him even better. Green is my favorite color, so of course I like the green shinies as they show up. People can say that there's too many green shinies, but to me, there's not enough. And to continue with the shiny legendary luck, we have 4 shiny Suicune here. The legendary dogs were actually the first raid hours that I took place in. I didn't get away with any shiny Entei or Raikou, but I did get 4 shiny Suicunes. And as you can see here, another shiny baby. We've got shiny Bonsly. He is another gold shiny. I just wish that the leaves on his head matched the shiny Sudowoodo a little bit more. However, he's still a very nice shiny nonetheless. Another shiny hatch from an egg, we have shiny Alolan Vulpix. And here we have shiny Kabutops. This shiny here I actually traded with my brother because he had a shiny Kabuto and I really wanted shiny Kabuto. I had a shiny Drifloon and he really wanted shiny Drifloon, so we just went ahead and swapped them. They didn't, of course, turn lucky or anything, but I immediately evolved him because I really, really like the green color scheme. I think it matches very well with shiny Scizor here, and I think they would make a really, really neat shiny team. Here is kind of a rare shiny that I got. It is shiny Thanos or shiny Wailmer. I really like the purple color that he gets. I understand why people call him Thanos because he's got the big chin with the stripes on it just like Thanos. And he gets a purple color. I think that's a great name for him. I haven't evolved one into a Wailord yet because this is the only shiny Wailmer that I have, because again, he is just a very rare shiny to come across because Wailmer himself is pretty uncommon outside of events. Up next we have shiny Carvanha, shiny Barboach, another really rare shiny, shiny Seal. There is something kind of interesting about shiny mine in here. I set out one day to get a shiny. I was out all day from basically the time that I woke up to about 2 a.m. and I didn't get a single shiny until about 2 a.m. when I was about to head home and I got shiny mining. So that just tells you how dedicated you can be to finding shinies and you still come up short until maybe the very end. Just keep hunting and eventually you'll find one. There is shiny Murkrow, who actually has a decently high shiny rate. Shiny Makuhita, who is pretty difficult to find. Shiny Misdreavus, shiny Gligar and Gliscor here was actually the Dex entry for Gliscor. I only wish that I recorded it. Shiny Gligar is actually very common, so as soon as I got the second one, I immediately evolved it to Gliscor because the color scheme on Gliscor is just amazing. He becomes this sandy blue with kind of gold striping on him and the black bat wings. I think Gligar and Gliscor are just really nice looking Pokemon, the kind of bat scorpions. And here we have the shiny Cubone. That's why I got the pin, is because it's one of the shinies that I actually have, and it's a shiny that I really, really like. I just super admire that army green color on him. I think it fits him very well. And there we have a shiny Scyther. That completes our family. We've got shiny Baniri, who also has a really high shiny rate, I believe. Shiny Elekid I actually hatched during an event where Unknown were in eggs. and I was trying really, really hard to get a shiny unknown. They were actually in 10k eggs, I believe, and they were super low hatch rates, so I hatched just 1,000,000 10k eggs, and out of those hatches I got this shiny little Elekid, and the shiny babies have just become extremely rare. Here's another really cool shade of green, shiny Bronzor. And continuing with the green shinies, we are now getting into Turtwig Community Day. As you can see, I did a lot better with Turtwig than I did with Mudkip or Ralts. Ended up walking away with a lot more of those. And this shiny Tauros here, I actually caught again upon his initial release when all of the shiny regionals were released. I caught him in the wild, even though I was hatching all of those regional eggs at the time. I wasn't lucky enough to hatch a shiny Kangaskhan or a shiny Mr. Mime. We've got another shiny Drifloon here, shiny Coughing. I really like this shiny Pokemon because he has an interesting color scheme. It's actually flipped, kind of flipped, from the standard Coughing color scheme because normally, of course, he's purple and the little gas clouds that he shoot out are kind of a tannish green. So they kind of just inverted his colors for that shiny. Something that's kind of uncommon. And this Pokemon here, the elephant in the room, we've got shiny Mewtwo. And shiny Mewtwo here actually has the best buddy ribbon as well, because this shiny Mewtwo is a 96%. And I believe this, I've talked about this before, but the IV percentage is based on how many of the little dots are filled up in this chart. And since he's 2 little dots away, that just makes him 96%. That's only a couple of points off from a 100% shiny Mewtwo. This is actually one of my highest IV Mewtwo that I have. I do have a 98 non-shiny, so it was an obvious choice to make him a best buddy, get him the extra CP boost. And right now, again for this video, we're going to do something a little bit special. We're going to max out shiny Mewtwo. He was really close already, but I did want to give him that extra CP boost. And something else I'm going to do, I'm going to give him a new attack. And here we have the shiny Mewtwo with the best buddy CP boost, the best buddy ribbon, a second attack, but that's not all. I'm going to go ahead and do it. I'm going to use an Elite Charge TM on this buddy. He is going to forget Thunderbolt. We're going to keep Psystrike on him, but we're going to give him Shadow Ball. Teach Mewtwo Shadow Ball. Teach him. 1, 2, ta-da! Shiny Mewtwo learned Shadow Ball. So here we go. We have Best Buddy Shiny Mewtwo with the CP boost, the Best Buddy ribbon, 2 moves, Psystrike and Shadow Ball. Shadow Ball is Mewtwo's legacy move, and Psystrike is one of Mewtwo's most powerful moves. So this Mewtwo right here is just an absolute beast, and it is one of my favorite Pokemon by far. And just to kind of close out of the shinies for a second here, the shiny Mewtwo is now my most powerful Pokemon. With the Best Buddy CP boost, it actually put him above Slacking, who was the previous record holder. He is now 4156 CP, my most powerful Pokemon. We've got a couple of repeats here. We have shiny Swablu, shiny Tauros, as well as some new ones like shiny Patrat, shiny Sentret, shiny Meditite. I do really like the shinies that have a stark color difference from their standards. Meditite here is of course normally blue and white, and he's this nice pink and red color. Here again we show our shiny legendary luck. Shiny Giratina, we got 2 of him, a 91 and an 80% IV, both really high. He is also a very nice color change from the standard, who's got red stripes, another shiny that I got when he was first released. Shiny Seviper, he is a very nice green color. I really like the blue fangs and the purple. It really mixes well together. Shiny Lillipup, he was one of the first Unova Pokemon that could even be shiny. Shiny Geodude. We've got another shiny Grimer, another shiny Seviper, a shiny Plusle here to go with that shiny Minun that I showed just a bit ago. And take a look at this, another shiny Mewtwo. This one is obviously quite a bit lower IV than the other one. This one is an 84, that's just barely a 3-star. I think 82 is the percentage where it begins to cross from 2-star to 3-star. I got extremely lucky with him. At the time that I got this shiny Mewtwo, I was making small clips for Instagram posts of me catching shinies, and then I would take pictures with the shinies with the AR mode. I was actually lucky enough to record myself checking this Mewtwo, finding out that it was shiny, and catching him. And I do still have the clip here. This recording was a little bit lower quality than what I'm able to make now because the recording software that I used at the time just wasn't as good as what I use now. But I am still thrilled to have that shiny catch on camera because he is my single favorite shiny at the moment. An interesting thing is I actually ended up getting 3 shiny Mewtwo. And the third shiny Mewtwo I traded to Andy via a lucky trade. However, that was with her old account, and since she abandoned her old account, I got to transfer that shiny Mewtwo to Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu, and it is currently sitting in Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu, but I'll now be able to transfer it again to Pokemon Sword and Shield, and then at that point I'll be able to have my shiny Mewtwo that I caught in Pokemon Go in Pokemon Sword and Shield. Coming up next here is Trapinch Community Day, and I feel like I did just awful with Trapinch Community Day because I only got away with 7, and that is the least amount of shiny Pokemon that I've got from a single Community Day. Next we have another shiny Scyther, we've got a shiny Ghastly, and that was before his Community Day, so that was my first shiny Ghastly. I was super pumped to get it because I absolutely love the shiny Ghastly. That purple with the blue smoke, it's a nice little color switch up. Here, another Pokemon with a high shiny rate, Sneasel. I got 2 in a row, I'm sure it was during some event where Sneasel was boosted. And shiny Zubat. This was shortly after shiny Zubat was first added, and shiny Zubat is one of my favorite shinies ever. I know it feels like I keep saying that, but I love green shinies, and the tan under his wings just meshes really nicely with the green shade that they chose. So that color combination just looks really, really nice. And it does continue into Golbat. However, he loses it once you evolve him to Crobat. Shiny Pidgey, a nice little shiny, another Carvana, another Misdreavus. Mamoswine, this was actually not caught on his Community Day, as you can tell. He was caught just before December when they had the catch-up Community Day event, and I actually evolved him during that event because it gave him his legacy move. Shiny Swinub, another shiny Patrat, another shiny Swinub. There's my shiny Golem, a nice sandy color as opposed to his normal brownish, tannish mud color. Shiny Geodude, a shiny Caterpie, Diglett, Seal, another Misdreavus. Here's a couple of Shelder just like I was talking about. Another Swablu. This Charizard was my first shiny Charmander, and he was weather boosted at the time, so it was an 89% IV. Of course, again, I evolved him during that December event, got him the Legacy move, and a shiny Turtwig right before Chimchar Day, but I have a feeling, yep, it was traded, so just a shiny Turtwig swap leading into Chimchar Community Day. Got a decent amount of Chimchar, some pretty good Infernape IVs, and this is another shiny that I really like, Clink. And Clink, I believe I've done over 40 raids of him because anytime I see a Clink, I'll jump in it, use my free raid pass of the day because I really, really like his shiny. Similar to Durant and Skarmory, they get this kind of brownish copper color, and the green mixed in with that, it gives it sort of a steampunkish vibe, and it fits really well with some steel types. And I would absolutely love to get a shiny Klinklang. However, I only have 1 shiny Klink, so I can't get that shiny family just yet. Another shiny Swinub, another shiny Murkrow, 2 of them in fact, shiny Sentret, and this shiny here. This shiny Magnemite is a very special shiny because at the time, he was my major shiny hunt. And anytime, I'm saying anytime, I would see a Magnemite on the nearby, I would get up and go get it. It did not matter if it was 2 in the morning, it didn't matter if it was a Pokestop that was far away and I had to then drive to it. I needed to shiny check that Magnemite, and eventually I did get him, and he is very special to me, and I named him Gary. And the reason I named him Gary is because of SpongeBob, and SpongeBob's best buddy's name is Gary the Snail, so I felt like it was suiting to name shiny Magnemite Gary because he is my second favorite shiny, right below Mewtwo. Got a couple of more random shinies, Snubbull, Snorunt, another Gligar, Burmy, no, not Onix, Burmy that I caught right when he was released, and then 2 more Charizards here. And the interesting thing about this Charizard, which is my highest IV shiny Charizard, is I caught him during the event where all stages of the evolutions of the Kanto starters could have been shiny in raids. And I actually caught him as a shiny Charmeleon. And at the time, I didn't go after any of the Charizard raids, even though he could have been shiny and it would have saved me some candy. I was specifically going after Charmander and Charmeleon because, again, I wanted to evolve him during December and get his Community Day move on him, just make him a little bit better. And a random shiny Onix. Then we moved into the December Community Day event, the Makeup Community Day, where they had all of the previous Community Day Pokemon out in the wild, and they all had the same shiny chance that they had during their original Community Days, and you could catch them all, evolve them to get their Community Day moves. So that's what I did here. I have Blaziken, Slacking, Sceptile, Feraligatr, all with their Community Day moves. Salamence as well, got some Tricos, a couple of Totodiles, a couple more Bagons. Also ended up with some Turtwig, Chimchar, Ralts, another Torterra that I evolved, a couple more Trapinch, Mudkip, Chimchar, Ralts, Bagon, so on and so forth. And then have a shiny Feebas here, which has a relatively high shiny rate, at least that I've experienced. And this Pokemon here is a shiny regional. And I know that I said I didn't hatch any shiny regionals, and this was actually not a hatch. It was a trade with my brother's alternate account, who happened to hatch a shiny Mr. Mime, and naturally I named him Mr. Lime because it rhymes, and he is lime green. Here we have shiny Ho-Oh, continuing with the shiny legendary Luck. A couple more shiny Sneasel, not too big of a deal. A shiny Snover, and this shiny Baneri here is named Spencer's because I caught him while I was at the mall in the Spencer's store. Here is a pretty rare shiny, shiny Delibird, and he is a rare shiny because of course he is a seasonal spawn. He only spawns during Christmas season. A couple more shiny Sneasel again, another shiny Tauros, Murkrow, and a shiny Heatran, although I did get this one when his shiny was released, and I caught it during, I believe, a raid hour. Another shiny Shelder brings us into Piplup Community Day. And Piplup Community Day was very fruitful. I got a lot of them. I evolved in Napoleon all the way here, got a Miss Community Day move. And on Piplup Community Day, it appears that I got a shiny Tailo and a shiny Trico. And those were out of event shinies, of course. So those were full odd shinies that I just happened to catch during Community Day. And have another shiny Ralts that, yep, was just a trade, so I swapped to shiny Ralts. Got a couple of shiny Magikarp here. I believe that was during the red event, something along those lines. For whatever reason, I just had incredible luck during that event with Magikarp. He was boosted spawns. I think that was the event where Gyarados could also be shiny in the wild. However, I didn't get any shiny Gyarados in the wild. I did get a shiny Skarmory, a shiny Ekans, and I did trade a shiny Magikarp with my brother, and he ended up becoming lucky. So I evolved that lucky shiny Magikarp into a lucky shiny Gyarados. This shiny lucky Magnemite here is actually what Andy traded me for our lucky trade. So that's when I gave her the shiny Mewtwo. She gave me this shiny lucky Magnemite because Magnemite is my second favorite shiny. Another Onix, another Seviper, a Natu, a random Piplup, a Mudkip, a Turtwig, Duskull, and a shiny Spinda that I got, and I was really lucky to get this guy because I hadn't even found a lot of Spinda tasks before that, so it was a really early shiny Spinda check. Up next we've got Rhyhorn Community Day, ended up with some nice shiny Rhyperiors. He's a beast of a Pokemon to use. Shiny Eevee, another Plusle, a lucky shiny Zubat that again was just an extremely lucky shiny swap with my brother. Ended up lucky. He got a lucky shiny Zubat as well. Shiny Torchic, Rattata, Ponyta, which is another shiny that I really, really like because I like it when the shinies match their typing, and the blue matches the fire typing very well because it's as if Ponyta is just burning extra hot, because when a flame is blue it's actually hotter than an orange flame. Another shiny Gligar, Scyther, Onix, Nidoran female, which is a very rare shiny, at least I have not come across very many, as well as the male. Another shiny Ponyta, a couple of Tailo, an Oddish, Minccino, and this is exciting as well, shiny Darkrai. These shiny Darkrai were caught again when his shiny was first released, and this shiny is very special because when I started opening up Hidden Fates cards, Shiny Darkrai was one of the first GXs that I got, so I really wanted to get him in Pokemon Go, and I actually ended up getting 2. Another Shiny Coughing, Shiny Sneasel, a little Shiny Sandshrew, which I really like because his big black eyes go well with the green color scheme, make him look like a little alien, hence his nickname. Another Shiny Nidoran female, Shiny Pikachu, Rattata, Pidgey, Seviper, Shiny Alolan Diglett, which is a really nice shiny because the Alolans are generally very rare to come across. Shiny Nincada, I got him also when he was first released. Murkrow, Geodude, Eevee, Gligar, Natu, Shiny Spoink, couple more Shiny Tailo, a random Trapinch, Aipom, and Aipom, as you can see, is one of my favorite Pokemon in general, so of course I like his shiny. And 2 more Ghastly that I ended up getting again before his community day. So those were full odd shiny Ghastly, a Castform in between that, a couple more Aipom, Mankey, Happiny, Chansey, a couple of green shinies, some pink shinies, another shiny Diglett right next to our shiny Lucario that we just evolved. And coming back to Lucario, that actually reminds me, since the XP I got from Pokedexing Lucario put me over level 40, I'm going to go ahead and name Lucario level 40 because that's just kind of a special Pokemon memento. After that, another shiny Alolan Executor and a shiny Cyndaquil, which is actually my one and only shiny Cyndaquil, and I will most likely be evolving him during this December Community Day because I don't have a shiny Typhlosion and I really would like one with the Legacy move. Shiny Marill, Diglett, another Magnemite, shiny Snover, my Riolu, Patrat, Execute, Murkrow, Clamperl, and this little set of 6 shiny Sentret were actually from that interesting Incense Day where shiny Sentret was the featured shiny. I ended up getting 6 of him throughout that day. A shiny Rhyhorn that was swapped, shiny Alolan Meowth, a Feebas, another Meowth, and this shiny Eevee that has pretty decent IVs for Umbreon in Great League. Not great, however, I'm still going to be evolving him into shiny Umbreon, using him in Great League. Got a little shiny Gummy Bear here. Leading into Abra Community Day, which as you can see I did very well. I did evolve an Alakazam for PvP because he was really high IV for PvP. However, after I evolved him, I then learned Alakazam is not very good for PvP, but he is a shiny that I really like. Again, he has the pink jacket, which matches the psychic typing. And right after Abra Community Day ended, the walk back to the car, I caught a shiny Trico, a couple more shiny Feebas, a shiny Meowth, another shiny Darkrai, and this one is a 93% IV, and that is the best shiny Darkrai that I have. This shiny Teddiursa I actually caught in the drive-thru of a McDonald's, so I went ahead and named him Happy Meal, like he's a little Happy Meal toy. Shelder, the shiny Pikachu with the Charizard hat, which is a really nice shiny that I ended up getting 3 of. Shiny Chansey, my first shiny Squirtle, Grimer, Lickitung, which is an interesting shiny that I caught in the wild, and he is a level 1 shiny, he is 17 CP. Shiny Shelder, Charmander, Chansey, Abra that I assume was swapped, another Zubat, Geodude, and a couple of Snubble here that I caught during the Snubble themed research. Shiny Gyarados that I evolved during Magikarp Community Day to get that Legacy move on him. Abra, Totodile, Dunsparce, Chikorita, a couple Sunkern, Misdreavus, Totodile, another Dunsparce, couple Abra, which I believe all of those were just swapped, a few Carvana, and this one I caught in a Jack-in-the-Box drive-thru, so I named him Jack-in-the-Box. And this shiny right here is another one of my favorite shinies, Shiny Aaron. And essentially the only difference with a shiny Aaron and a normal is the red eyes, and I don't know if you can see it very well, but the underside of his shell is kind of a dark green. And this shiny I was looking for a very long time. I actually caught him. I don't think he was even boosted for any kind of event. And I named him Voorhees because he looks like he's wearing a hockey mask with his little red demon eyes. He looks like Jason Voorhees. Shiny Duskull that I caught at a Target, so I named him Target. Poochyena, Talos, Skitty, which I believe I caught when he was released. Another Makuita, Mudkip. More Abra that, again, were swapped. Shiny Pikachu with the Lucario hat, which was by far my favorite little hat Pikachu during that event. Here we arrive at CDOT Community Day. Did pretty well there, evolved some nice Shiftry. CDOT is a really interesting shiny. He turns orange, which kind of fits his style, and he gets his little silver cap. Got a really decent amount of those. Another shiny Pikachu Lucario, Banire Hippopotas, a couple of Bronzor, random Piplup, Burmy, another Shelter of course, Venonat, Abra, Patrat, Lillipup, another shiny Aaron, which was incredibly hard to find, so I just need one more and I can complete that shiny family. A lucky shiny Seedot that was swapped with Andy, and she ended up with the same, a lucky shiny Seedot. Another Kabuto, Execute, Sudowoodo, which is a very nice shiny. I like the green and red Christmas colors for this tree Pokemon. Snubbull, Minun, Timber, Roselia, Poochyena. Now, Weedle Community Day, and this Beedrill here ended up being one of the best IV Weedle that I caught, and it was actually the first Weedle that I checked. It of course was a shiny, and this is another Pokemon that looks like an alien with those big blue eyes and the green color scheme. A very, very nice shiny. Scrolling through the Weedle here, got, I believe, 49 Weedle. And right after Weedle Community Day, I got shiny Solrock. And shortly after that, I got shiny Lunatone and a shiny Solrock. This was during the event where Lunatone and Solrock were switching places. So at the time, you could actually catch Lunatone and Solrock in the same place. And that is a really nice duo to catch back to back because those two Pokemon are not really found together, except for during the events, of course. Generally, they are on separate hemispheres. Going back down, Sunkern, Geodude, another Minun, Natu, Sunkern, a Yanma, which I was very excited to get. Ever since he was released, I was hunting him down, and I actually caught him during a bug event when Shiny Dwebble was released. And I got 2 Shiny Dwebble. And I actually do not have Crustle Pokedexed. So let's just go ahead and make sure this is the correct Dwebble. I'm going to go ahead and Pokedex Crustle as a shiny, because shiny Crustle actually has a really unique color scheme. It does not continue from Dwebble. He turns green. And of course I really, really love green shinies. Let's go ahead and throw shiny Crustle in the Pokedex. Another Pokedex for my shiny show-off video. Shiny Crustle. He is a very interesting looking Pokemon. I like how you can see the different layers of sediment on his back. His little legs are popping out of the giant rock. And I really, really like the green hermit crab with that color scheme. During that same bug out event, I got a couple of Caterpie, an Incada, and this Wurmple here is actually a prize Wurmple that I got because it was from a shiny contest that I had with Poketronic or Andy, and I ended up winning, so she traded me a shiny Wurmple from her old abandoned account. And he is very nice to get duplicates of because his evolution is a mystery, similar to Eevee. Tauros, Zigzagoon, Caterpie, Shelter, Wingull, Cubone, Skarmory, shiny Charmander with the little celebration hat. That was during some event, and I actually ended up getting 2 of them. This shiny lucky Skarmory, which I traded with again Andy Poketronic, and I believe she has a video of that on her channel. And here we come across my buddy Pokemon Winchester. And I know I've said this before, but I'm going to say it again. Shiny Beldum looks like a silver bullet, and a silver bullet is what you use to kill a werewolf, and the Winchester brothers on Supernatural kill werewolves, so Winchester seemed suiting. Another shiny Roselia, Diglett, Pidgey, Weedle, which must have been a trade, Nidoran male, which is another rare shiny, couple Sneasel, another Alolan Meowth, Sneasel, a few Zubat there, a shiny Grimer, which Andy lovingly named Slimer because she was actually the one holding my phone when she clicked the Grimer and it was green. Of course, more Sneasel, a Venonat, a lucky shiny Snubbull, Patrat, another Skitty, a shiny Krabby, which was my first shiny Krabby, another Ekans, Clamperl, Oddish, and up next is Ghastly Community Day. That, of course, was the first video that I made for this channel. You can go back and watch that adventure if you want to see how I get all of these lovely shiny Ghastly. This shiny Clamperl I caught when I was traveling to Missouri. And this shiny Magmar actually marks the beginning of GoFest. So I'll just do a quick recap of GoFest: Magmar, Magikarp, the new shiny Quillfish, Chinchou, Execute, Durant, Wobbuffet, Marill, Marowak, shiny Poliwag, the shiny Gyarados that I evolved during GoFest, named him Valor because he again turns that beautiful red color, shiny Squirtle with the little Pikachu hat, he is one of my favorite trophy shinies, Krogunk, something that I was looking for a very long time, Baby Shrek, Slackhoth, a couple of Wobbuffet, Tailo, Marill, Drowsy. This is day 2 now. We've got Sableye, Marowak, shiny Shadow Beldum, Chansey, the new Heatmore, the new Tangela, another shiny Shadow Beldum, a couple of Chansey, Quillfish, Baniri, another Squirtle with the little Pikachu hat, Zangoose, which I was very excited to get, a couple more Sableye, Marowak, another shiny Shadow Beldum, a couple of Sableye, Seviper, Magikarp, a couple of Ghastly that were swapped, Sentret, Minccino, Diglett, the Bulbasaur that Nick traded me so that I could have the full set of Kanto hat starters, Venonat, Illumise, Murkrow, Caterpie, my Dragon Week Rayquaza, Misdreavus, Trapinch, the Dratini, leading into Magikarp Community Day, of course. Got 49 shinies, I think, again. Another Lunatone that I happened to get, Sudowoodo, Rattata, the shiny U Unknown, which is another prized trophy shiny because he's not very useful, but he's a very rare Pokemon to come across outside of events. And this is shiny Lucky Ghastly. And since Ghastly is one of my favorite shinies, he is actually going to end up being a best buddy. And I'm kind of interested to see where the best buddy ribbon is going to end up on him. For some odd reason, I kind of hope it goes right on his eye. Another Roselia, Gligar, Minccino, and then shiny Torchic marks the beginning of the GoFest Makeup Day. I didn't do too amazing. The theme of the day seemed to be round shinies and green shinies. However, as you know, I did end up trading the shiny Charmander with the hat, completing my set of Kanto starters with the little Pikachu hat. And all my efforts to get shiny Roggenrola paid off. I ended up with 3 of those. Shiny Lillipup, a traded Abra, shiny Genesect, a really, really nice looking shiny. He reminds me of kind of like a fancy sports car, a Corvette, especially with those eyes. They look like little headlights and they ended up silver on his shiny. And my almost most recent shiny, thanks to the Roselia, this shiny Shadow Coughing. I believe I was actually riding in the car when I caught this. It just happened to have turned 6 o'clock, and if you aren't aware, rocket balloons actually appear every 6 hours, and if you get on right at 12 o'clock, be it midnight or noon, you can get a rocket balloon, and then you also get on at 6, be it AM or PM, you get another rocket balloon. So it had just turned 6 o'clock PM, I opened up the phone to get my rocket balloon, and it was Jesse and James. Of course the Coughing was shiny, and I was absolutely thrilled to get this, especially with the recent news that Jesse and James are going to be leaving the rocket balloons on, I believe it's September 30th. And while it seems like the shiny Coughing and Ekans shadows are relatively common, the Meowth balloon itself is a rare spawn to get. So be sure to get your rocket balloons at 6 and 12, AM or PM, hopefully to get a Meowth balloon to really hunt for the shiny Shadow Ekans and Coughing before they leave for an undetermined amount of time, assumingly they'll come back at some point. This Roselia was of course the shiny that we caught at the beginning of this video, and that marks the end of my shiny collection. It totals me out at 768 shiny Pokemon, and that is ever since the start with that shiny Geodude that was caught in 2019. So within 1 year, as of the time I'm recording this is 2020, I caught that full total, 768. And I for one cannot wait for the next year of shiny Pokemon. I can't wait for new shinies, new Pokemon to be added, new legendaries, new shiny legendaries, new shiny shadows. I am going to be going crazy for shinies, and I for one look forward to sharing my Pokemon adventures with you, be that opening Pokemon cards, playing Pokemon Go. I have no idea what lies ahead, but I am excited to get this channel started. And let's end this off the same way we started it, with shiny Lucario. I'm going to go ahead and make him a buddy because he is an absolutely amazing looking shiny. He got us across the line to level 40. I really want to see what he looks like on the map. There he is on the map. He looks absolutely amazing. The little yellow Lucario. He's a little bit smaller than I would have expected. I wouldn't have thought that Grimer would be larger than Lucario. He looks amazing next to my avatar nonetheless, and I will see you on the next adventure.